Hello students, welcome. Welcome to economics class. This is all about CHSC and ICSE class 10th. And CBSE students might have also have this class. And I am going to tell you about the lesson demand, law of demand. Okay. So prior to that, I would like to tell you one thing, that economics means a study of four things you have to remember: production, consumption, distribution, and exchange of wealth. That means the subject economics moves around wealth. The father of economics, Adam Smith, has also said this, right? That's why his definition is called wealth definition. So major top chapters of economics, those who are economic students, you must know that you must have the perfect knowledge about utility, demand, production laws, consumption laws, supply, market, money, banking, public finance, macroeconomic analysis are the major areas around which the economic subject moves, right? So this economics is divided into two branches actually. One is microeconomics and macroeconomics. In plus 2 CHSC, we are having both. But in ICSE, I think they are having maximum microeconomics. Well, what is this micro and macroeconomy? If you'll ask me like this, I would like to tell you that individual study of economics is known as micro, and aggregate study of economics is known as macro. So the basic difference is taking one particular industry or person. If you study, and it is called as microeconomics. If you take the nation as a whole, right? You take the case of a farm and an industry. A farm is a unit of industry. So when you come to farm, FIRM, it's a unit. So it is individual study. That is said to be microeconomics. When you go to industry, means congregation of a lot of farms together, it is called as macro. All national concepts such as national income, national saving, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, okay? And whenever even you are talking about the market demand schedule, market demand things, that also goes more than one individual. In mass, when you study this subject, it is called as macro. Well, our topic is about demand today. So here, demand comes in two categories: micro level and macro level, right? When you study demand in a micro level, in microeconomics, you study about individual demand or personal demand. Here, law of demand comes, right? When you go for a macro level, then you are studying aggregate demand. So demand and aggregate demand are two different concepts, very little different, very, very little. But you have to know that whenever you want to determine price in the market, you have to take individual demand into account. Whenever you are going to determine income of the nation, right, you have to go for aggregate demand. This is the thing you must have to know. When to apply what? Good. Very good. Next. What is law of demand? First, what is demand? Then, what is law of demand? See, demand means anything. We can say the desire. Demand means desire to have a commodity or service backed by willingness and ability to pay. These are the two factors which motivates a person to buy or create a demand. Willingness to pay, ability to pay. That's why you have to write the meaning like this. Demand means desire, backed by. Backed by means supported by two factors. Willingness to pay means interest, ability to pay means capacity. If these two things are there, one demand can be created. I hope you understand. Okay, moving to the next one. Law of demand. After demand, we are coming to law of demand. So, what is law of demand? Suppose you are getting a 2-mark question. What is law of demand? And then you have to write like this. Law of demand is the study of doesn't as price and demand. Okay, study of a relationship between doesn't as price and demand. After study, it explains that there is inverse relation. Inverse means opposite relationship between price and demand. I hope you understand. So you have to write this is an important law of consumption. First line. Second line you have to write it implies the study of the relationship between price and demand. Third line you have to write this explains that there is inverse or opposite relationship. What type of relation you have to write between price and demand? That means again simplify. That means यहाँ आपने बोला है there is inverse relation. Then simplify. That means if the price rises, demand falls. If the price falls, demand rises. See, they are moving both the hands. Let us suppose this hand was having hand. This is price and this is demand where I am holding the pen. So now both are equal. Let us suppose in the market. What happens now? See, when price rises, demand comes down, falls, going in the opposite direction. This hand is going opposite direction. When price falls, goods become cheaper, demand will rise up. So both the hands are moving in opposite direction. That shows that there is inverse relationship between this P and this D. Now this hand was P and this hand was D. I hope you understand what type of relation is there between price and demand. Is that clear? You can write S if it is clear to you. Then one more important thing I am going to say you. There is a procedure of writing long question. So when law of demand comes as a long question, the first part is introduction, where you have to mention up to this what I have explained so far. Then the next is assumptions, means conditions of the law. And then the third point is the schedule of law of demand. And the fourth point is diagram, graph you have to make and explain. And then the last point is limitations. So here you have to say in what area this law of demand is not really applicable today. So by following the procedure, you will get very good marks. So remember this. Then introduction is over. Already you came to know what is law of demand. Now we will go for the assumptions. Assumptions implies the conditions of the law. So the condition number 1 of the law of demand, you can write like this. The consumer must be rational. Consumer must be rational. Number 2, prices of related goods should not change. Prices of related goods should not change. Number 3, income of the consumer should not change. Very simple language you use so that you can remember easily and you can write better in the examination, score high. So what are the things? Consumer must be rational, price of related goods should not change, income of the consumer should not change. Fourth one, the taste and preference of the consumer should not change. Okay? And government policy, you can write the government policy should remain constant, or the marginal utility of money should remain constant. Should not change is equal to remain constant. Instead of write like this, income should not change. Instead of that, you can say income should remain constant. Both are same. You can change your language, but point should not be missed. There is also a trick to remember these things, like in your algebra or somewhere, the sine, cos, theta, and all these things are there. There is a chart from one you can draw others. In economics also, we have the same procedure. If you know the assumptions, you can draw the limitations from the assumptions. It's a very easy task. So by your own knowledge, you can write the law instead of by hearting it. Okay. I am teaching my students in this method. Well, after assumptions, now come to this schedule. So you have to write demand schedule as heading. Then you have to describe what does it mean. Then what is inside the table or the schedule. So heading you have to write schedule 1 or table 1 like this. You have to mention this side of the answer sheet. Okay, here you have to do the table or graph, whatever you are doing. I hope you understand. So see, as I cannot draw because I am not in front of a digital board now, right now, or a whiteboard here, I will just show you the table. Just you look the table, and then we will go for analysis. But the key point, what does the law of demand implies? I hope you remember it. When price changes, demand changes, but both go in opposite direction. So here you can see this table. So here you can see the price and quantity demand. When price, what happening? Price is falling from 4, 5 to 4, 3, like this. You are watching this, 5 to 4 to 3 to 1. Price is falling. What happening here? Demand, you see this? Going in opposite direction. When it is 5, it is 1. When it is 1, it is 5. Mr. Suresh Pal, is it visible or looks in the same way? Mr. Suresh, just write yes if it is visible in red direction. But it is visible to me in reverse. That's why I'm asking you, needing your help. So the main content you see, when price falls, demand rises. This one I have to show you. Now I will explain you. This is what is the inverse relation we have seen in that table. When price was 5, the demand was very less. Suppose one day I went to market, I am telling you like this, the true story. I have asked him, well, what is the cost of apple? Nah. He said, sir, 5 rupees, one piece. I said, oh, 5 rupees, okay, give one piece. Then next day I went, 4 rupees, he said. I purchased one, okay. Next day when I went, I asked him, so he said 3 rupees, sir. Okay, then you give 2 pieces. So when 5 to 3, the rate came down, I purchased 2 instead of 1 apple. What does it mean? When price is going cheaper, I am purchasing more and more apple. Next day when I went and asked him, kitne hai apple? No, sir, 1 apple is 1 rupees. Oh, very nice. Then give me 5 apples. So when price became 1, I purchased 5 apples. What do you understand by this? When price becomes cheaper, demand will be high. There is nothing in this law of demand, very easy one. This inverse relation you have to prove. In table you have proved, next go to diagram. So in diagram it will come like this, and the DD will slope downward. O x-axis, O y-axis you have to take, okay, in this direction. 0x, 0y. No minus point is there, so you don't drag the y line down. Remember this, because no minus is there. So start from 0, ending with 5 rupees. Start from 0, and with 5 apples. So I'm showing you the graph. Just you can see the shape. Yeah, you should make it. It almost looks like this. You can see this, right? So here you can see the DD demand curve is sloping downwards. That means what happens when price rises, demand falls. That it shows. And in the reverse, you will go, you will find the opposite. So you have to remember this here because you are getting here in the microeconomics, the individual demand curve always slopes downward. But aggregate demand curve, remember, it slopes upward. It's not the main content, aggregate demand, so I'm not teaching you here. I'm just saying the difference. If you are a plus 2 student, you must know this. Demand curve slopes dashwards. Question comes downwards. Aggregate demand curve slopes dashwards upwards. Right? Aggregate demand means total demand of a country. It never becomes zero. That's why I'm saying you. If necessary, I will show you also aggregate demand, how it happens. It always moves upward. Know the difference just. It's good for you to know. You see this. This is moving upward, AD, aggregate demand. Okay? So this one, aggregate demand. I hope you understand. This is rising upward. It will always never be zero again. You can see. Oh, zero is here. It starts from either 20 or 32, then moves upward. Never becomes 0. Right? So after writing, after drawing the graph, you write graph 1. Then you describe in this diagram, OX axis represents this, and Y axis represents demand, one side price, one side demand, and DD represents demand curve, which is sloping downwards, which proves that there is opposite relationship between price and demand. It has been proved now. Then go for limitations. In limitations, what you will do, you will write just reverse of the assumptions. For example, in assumption, you have written one point, the consumer must be rational. So what you have to write here? Like this. If the consumer is not rational, the law will not be applicable. Second point, you have written a condition there, the income should not change, should be constant. You have written. So in limitation, you reverse it. If the income changes, the law will not be applicable. By reversing assumptions, you can write 3-4 limitations or expectations. Prior to that, you have to add something. For example, law of demand is not applicable for given or given goods. Given goods means it is that good whose price rises with rise in demand rises with rise in price, demand falls with fall in price. It was founded by Sir Robert Giffen of Ireland. And he complained to Marshall also, your law of demand is wrong, sir. Because of this, I have seen that you told, sir, when price will go down, demand will be high. When price will rise high, demand will be low. But this has not happened. I have tried. Marshall asked, hello, sir, what did you sold? He said, sir, I was selling just breads in an area. 5 rupees bread, I called for 50 rupees, but number of demand was higher than that. Why? What happened? At that time, there was some situation like that, which forced people to buy a bread of 5 rupees at 50 rupees. Maybe flood or drought or anything might have happened there. So, in particular situation, law of demand fails. Marshall was very intelligent man. He also noted this point. He was not angry when he was complained. He wanted to know the reason why this man is saying, what is wrong with me? Let me correct it. See how smart he is. But what will happen? What is happening with us? If anybody will complain, you or me or any person, sometimes we are reacting. That is the thing. We are not learning anything. We are stopping somewhere. Next, last point I am telling you. The law of demand is also not applicable for rare goods like diamond or some other goods, rare goods which is not easily available. Prestigious goods like diamond. See, prestigious goods, the rich people will buy. They will not see what is the price, what is the demand. They are interested, they will pay the money, whatever like, and purchase the diamond because they are very prestige conscious people. Money matters not for them. In this way, in many areas, law of demand doesn't work. That is the limitation. Okay, students, I think you understand. Thank you very much for watching and spending so much time with me for this class. And I really enjoy to teach you. Bye.